Hi Capricorn, how's it going? I hope you're doing fantastic today. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn, and I'm going to be doing a Celtic Cross reading for you. I've already cleared the energy of the cards. This is a Celtic Cross spread. It's a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. If it does, let me know. I would love to hear from you. So I'll just go through them individually here. Your first card represents your current situation, and you got the Five of Pentacles reversed. I just wrote a whole bunch of notes on your reading, so I'll just go through my notes. So the Five of Pentacles reversed in your current situation position is actually a really hopeful sign. The core meaning, when it comes out upright, it's about hardship, isolation, financial stress, feeling left out in the cold, but your card came out reversed. So this one is about recovery, coming out of struggle, support returning, or it could be a mindset shift. So what it says about you now, right now, Capricorn, is you're moving out of a difficult period. It could be financial strain is easing. It could be emotional isolation is starting to lift. You could be regaining your confidence after experiencing some kind of setback. Or you're finally accepting help instead of pushing through it alone. So there's a sense of things were rough, but you're not stuck there anymore. You tend to carry burdens silently, Capricorn. You struggle to ask for help. And sometimes, some of you may tie your self-worth to stability and success. So this reversal can point to a breakthrough in perspective, like maybe you're letting go of pride and allowing some support, or you're realizing that you're not as alone as you thought you were, or you're rebuilding from a stronger and wiser place. So someone could be helping you financially or practically. Someone may be, or you're healing from a breakup or emotional coldness. Or you're re-entering a social circle after feeling excluded. Or it could be a job or an opportunity that's reappearing. Even though this is a current situation card, it carries advice. It carries guidance. Don't slip back into isolation or accept help. It's part of the healing. Or recognize all the progress that you've made so far, even if it's small. Okay? And then your second card is the Three of Swords reversed. This card represents what's crossing you or what's challenging you or your situation, or it could be what you're celebrating. And this is a very powerful combination here. Is showing a clear story of healing and coming out of pain. The Three of Swords reversed points to emotional healing, releasing heartbreak, or struggling to fully let go of pain. Upright, it's the card upright, the Three of Swords upright, the Three of Swords is about heartbreak, betrayal, grief, emotional pain. But recovery, it's about, reversed, it's about recovery, forgiveness, emotional release, or sometimes delayed healing. These two cards are saying that you're coming out of both emotional and material hardship at the same time. You may be trying to heal, but not fully there yet, or old wounds could still be influencing your decisions, or you might be avoiding feeling the pain deeply, which slows true healing. You may be saying that you're over it, but you're still triggered, or you're wanting to move forward, but you're carrying emotional walls, or you're struggling to forgive either yourself or someone else. It could be something influencing you or something surrounding you. You're actively in a healing phase. I'm just going to close my door. Hold on. You're actively in a healing phase, or you're letting go of heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment, or you're learning emotional resilience after a tough experience. Okay? You've survived something painful, Capricorn. You may be recognizing your own growth or finally feeling lighter after a long emotional wait. The Five of Pentacles reversed, saying that you're no longer stuck in hardship. And the Three of Swords reversed is saying that you're healing, but it's still a process. You're recovering, healing, and rebuilding after a difficult chapter. You're leaving behind scarcity, either emotional or financial. You're healing a broken heart or deep disappointment. You're slowly opening back up to support, love, or stability. You went through a period of feeling abandoned, hurt, or unsupported, but now you're picking yourself back up. But there's still lingering emotional scars. And then your foundation message is the Seven of Pentacles reversed. There's a strong theme here of burnout, disappointment, and rebuilding after things didn't pay off the way you expected. So your foundation at the root of the situation, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, is about frustration, a lack of return, burnout, feeling like this isn't worth it anymore. At the core of everything, you've likely been dealing with putting in a lot of time, energy, or emotion and not seeing results. Or you're feeling like you're feeling like something you invested in, either a relationship, a job, or a goal, wasn't growing. And then you got impatient, or you were disillusioned after waiting so long, and you're wondering, why are you still doing this? You invested so much and you feel like it didn't pay off. And that disappointment hurt, and you're still healing from it. But you're starting to recover and come out of that difficult place. This is long-term effort with little reward. It could be a relationship, a career path, or a personal goal that led to emotional pain, heartbreak, or deep disappointment. And you were feeling let down or even betrayed by the outcome. But now you're slowly rebuilding. You're coming out of emotional or financial struggle. You're beginning to see the light again, but you're still healing. It could be that this Capricorn energy feels like someone who stayed too long in something hoping it would improve, or you gave more than you received, or you hit a breaking point emotionally or practically, and now you're in a picking up the pieces phase. Okay? The shadow side of this, you might be questioning self-doubt. Maybe you're thinking, did you waste your time? Maybe you felt impatient with wanting results faster. There's a risk of either giving up too quickly, moving forward, or overcorrecting and becoming emotionally guarded. This reading isn't about failure, it's about reassessment and recovery. You're learning not every investment is meant to pay off. You're learning when to walk away and how to rebuild smarter, not just harder. And then your fourth card is the Eight of Cups reversed. This card represents your past, but is relevant to your current situation. So you've had 4 reversals in a row here. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of reversals. This feels like a situation you've been stuck in for a while and you're only now starting to release. Okay? Reversed, this card is about difficulty letting go, returning to something, staying too long, or a fear of moving on. So, in the past, you either struggled to walk away from something that wasn't fulfilling, or you stayed in a situation even when you knew it wasn't right, or you went back and forth, leaving and returning, or emotionally detaching, but not fully leaving. You felt a strong attachment that made it hard to let go. It could be a relationship you couldn't fully release, or a job or a path that you felt stuck in, or an emotional pattern or attachment you kept revisiting. Okay? You couldn't walk away, even though you should have. You kept investing, but it wasn't growing. It hurt, but you're healing from the pain, and now you're finally starting to recover and come out of the struggle. You stayed too long. You kept investing effort and time. It led to emotional pain or heartbreak, and now you're in the process of healing and rebuilding. The issue wasn't just the situation, it was not leaving when you knew deep down you needed to. This often comes from a fear of loss or change, or hoping things would improve, or emotional attachment or loyalty. Your tendency to endure instead of release. But the good news is every single card so far is pointing to release and recovery. You're no longer fully stuck. You're processing the pain. You're beginning to detach from what drains you. Even if it's slow, it's forward movement. You know you deserve more than what you were holding on to. And now you're reclaiming your energy. You're letting go of regret, the I stayed too long, and you're starting to open up to something healthier. Okay? Right now, though, this is a clear healing plus release journey in progress, is what these cards are saying here. Clear healing plus release, journey in progress. Then your fifth card is the Knight of Cups, reversed. This card represents your immediate future, what's coming very soon. This is a card of emotional inconsistency, illusions, avoidance, disappointment, or withdrawn energy. After all this healing and recovery, this card suggests emotionally things may feel off. So someone, you or another person, may be emotionally unavailable or inconsistent, or there could be mixed signals, confusion, or unrealistic expectations, or it could indicate a romantic or emotional situation that may not live up to what was hoped for. You're healing, you're coming out of lack, you're coming out of struggle, you're learning from over-investing, and you're letting go slowly of something you couldn't leave before. But don't fall back into an emotional pattern. Someone may return. It's very likely someone returns. A past person could reappear, but they show up inconsistently or not fully genuine, or it may feel tempting but also confusing and disappointing to you. But it could also indicate that you're not fully ready yet. You may still be healing, and you may struggle to trust or feel emotionally closed off, or unintentionally send mixed signals to yourself. You may be wanting something to be what it isn't, or you're romanticizing a situation that isn't stable, or you're ignoring red flags because it feels good in the moment. This is a card of illusion versus reality. You're healing, but be careful what you open your heart to next, because there's a risk of slipping back into something emotionally unfulfilling or attracting someone who mirrors past patterns. You're moving towards stability, but emotional instability is approaching, so you're at a crossroads. Should you continue healing and choose better, or are you going to get pulled back into a cycle that feels good but isn't solid? This doesn't mean something bad is guaranteed. It means discernment is needed. Not every emotional offer is aligned. Healing isn't fully complete yet. And then the outcome that you desire most in your situation is the Temperance card. So this card reversed is about imbalance, extremes, emotional overwhelm, lack of harmony, rushing or forcing things. You want emotional balance. You want peace after everything you've been through. You want stability internally and externally. And you want things to finally feel right and aligned. But this reversal shows that you want balance, but you don't fully feel it yet. There's still imbalance ahead. Emotional ups and downs may continue for a bit. You may feel pulled between letting go versus going back, or healing versus reopening wounds. There's a tendency here to overgive or overfeel or overreact. So connecting this with the Knight of Cups reversed, these two together are very telling. The Knight of Cups reversed is inconsistent or confusing emotional energy, and the Temperance reversed represents difficulty staying balanced within that. So something or someone may come in that throws you off balance emotionally. So you stayed in something too long, you couldn't walk away from it, you invested heavily with little return. Now you're healing from heartbreak, but you're not fully there yet. You're recovering, you're rebuilding, you're coming out of struggle, and then you have emotional confusion. There may be someone, there's a possible return of someone or instability. You're still feeling off balance. You're needing to find inner harmony. This is not a failure outcome, it's a warning and a mirror. You're in a healing transition, but you haven't fully integrated the lesson yet. Capricorn, you're in a healing transition, but you haven't fully integrated the lesson yet. Did you learn the lesson, Capricorn? Because God, Spirit, universe, they'll keep sending you the tests till you get the lesson, okay? All signs point to one core issue: overinvesting, difficulty letting go, and then emotional imbalance. If nothing changes, that pattern can repeat emotionally, okay? Slow down emotionally. Don't rush into new or old connections. Set boundaries and choose balance over intensity. Healing isn't just leaving the situation, it's changing the pattern. You're already on the path out. You're already healing, but you're being tested. Will you choose differently this time? And then your self-image card, how you see yourself, is the Lover's card, reversed. So, the 7th card, reverse, your self-image, how you see yourself. Disharmony, self-doubt, misalignment, difficult choices, disconnection, especially from yourself. So you're viewing yourself as emotionally or morally conflicted. You're feeling like you made the wrong choice in the past. You have regret over a relationship or a decision, and now you're torn between your head versus your heart. You're not fully trusting your own judgment. You're feeling off or not aligned with who you usually are. You're questioning your values or what you really want in love, in life. You're carrying guilt or self-blame. This is a big one, especially with the rest of the spread. You should have left sooner. You might be feeling that way, like you might be saying to yourself, I should have left sooner, or I invested too much, or I got hurt because of my choices. So internally, you may feel you didn't choose correctly and now you're dealing with the consequences. This card perfectly explains the emotional imbalance with the Temperance reversed. The root issue isn't just a situation, it's internal alignment. Maybe you feel like you don't trust your choices, or you feel misaligned, or you feel emotionally off balance. The imbalance is coming from within, not just external events. The connection to the Knight of Cups reversed. If you don't trust yourself, you may accept inconsistent love, or you may second guess healthy opportunities, or you may get pulled back into something familiar but not aligned. This feels like someone who lost themselves in a bit, they lost themselves a bit in a situation or a relationship, and now you're trying to figure out what do you actually want or what's right for you, and can you trust yourself again? Not trusting your own choices led you to stay too long, give too much, and get hurt. And now you're rebuilding both your life and your self-trust. The Lover's card upright isn't just about relationships, it's about alignment and conscious choice. So your path forward is reconnecting with your values or making choices that feel right, not just safe, or forgiving yourself for past decisions. This card is actually very powerful because it shows the problem, which is self-doubt and misalignment, and the solution is reclaiming inner alignment and trust. And then your environment, or how others see you and your situation. You have the King of Pentacles reversed. This is about instability, control issues, work imbalance, financial imbalance, stubbornness, or a loss of structure. So people around you may see you as, or perceive you as, not as stable as you usually are. Normally you're seen as very grounded and dependable. So others might feel like you're a bit off your game, or you're not as financially, emotionally, or practically secure as usual. Or you're going through a period of instability or transition, either too controlling or losing control. Okay, trying to control everything to avoid more loss, or you're feeling like things are slipping out of your hands. Others may sense something is wrong beneath the surface, or you might not be showing everything, but it's still noticeable. Outer instability or perceived instability, but what's happening inside is now being reflected on the outside. Okay, emotional, internal identity, external life, all rooted in overinvestment and not walking away sooner. So this could look like either work performance slipping due to emotional stress, or financial concerns, or feeling less secure than usual, or others questioning your decisions or noticing changes, or you're feeling the pressure to hold it together, but you're struggling internally. Maybe you're overcompensating by focusing too much on money or work, or you're neglecting practical matters because you're emotionally overwhelmed. Either way, it creates a disconnect between who you usually are and how you're showing up now. This card is less about failure and more about identity disruption. You're used to being the stable one, the provider, the one who has it all together. But right now, that identity is being challenged. This is actually part of the transformation. The old version of stability, overworking, overgiving, enduring, is breaking down, and the new version hasn't fully formed yet. So it feels like you're not who you were, but you're not fully who you are becoming either. Others may see you as off balance or going through something, not as grounded as usual, but this isn't permanent. It's part of the rebuilding phase. Um, we saw, it's part of the rebuilding phase we've seen since the Five of Pentacles reversed. Okay, and then your hopes and fears is the Six of Wands. So your hopes and fears, success, recognition, victory, validation, being seen and appreciated. At your core, you deeply want recognition and a win after everything. After all the cards we've seen, disappointment, heartbreak, imbalance. This is like you just want things to finally work out and for it to be obvious that you did. You want to feel successful again. You want validation that you didn't go through all of this for nothing. You want to come out on top, emotionally, financially, or in love. You may hope for someone to choose you openly and confidently. You may hope for a situation where you feel valued, seen, and appreciated. Or you hope for a public or clear victory in love. No confusion, no mixed signals. Where what you fear is a fear of failure or not being enough. You fear that you won't win in this situation, or you fear there's a fear of being overlooked, rejected, or not chosen. Or you fear that all your effort was for nothing. There's a fear of embarrassment or a loss of image as well. You may worry about how others perceive you. You may fear looking like you've failed, especially since you often value reputation and success. This fear is tied to past pain. What if you get hurt again? What if you still can't walk away? You want to win, but what if in the end you get hurt again instead? This is the classic ego versus vulnerability conflict. Your hope is you want recognition, success, and to feel on top again, but you fear what if you fall short, or what if you have to face another disappointment, okay? The Six of Wands for your hope is external validation and victory, but the Temperance reverse, the outcome is internal imbalance. You may be seeking external validation to fix internal imbalance, but that won't work fully unless you rebalance yourself first. This feels like someone who lost their confidence after a difficult experience and now wants to prove to themselves and others that they're still strong, successful, and worthy. You gave a lot, you got hurt, you're healing, but now you want a clear win to restore your confidence. True victory for you isn't just being seen as successful, it's feeling aligned, balanced, and secure within yourself again. And then your last card is the Ten of Swords. This card represents your future if things remain as they are. This card is all about painful endings, hitting rock bottom, betrayal, exhaustion, sometimes a dramatic everything falls apart moment, but also the opportunity to release and start fresh after the worst is over. So how this card connects to the rest of your reading, excuse me, there's overinvesting, staying too long, then frustration. then heartbreak, and then recovery in progress, slowly coming out of hardship, then dealing with emotional instability and imbalance, then self-doubt and external instability, and a desire for recognition, validation, and success. So the Ten of Swords here is basically saying, if you don't change your approach, your patterns of overinvestment, staying in unhealthy situations, or seeking external validation will lead to another painful ending. The warning energy here is self-sabotage through old patterns, or emotional or financial rock bottom if you don't shift, or feeling betrayed, exhausted, or defeated. But there's a silver lining here. The Ten of Swords also signals closure. Once this ending happens, the slate can be wiped clean. It's painful, yes, but it's a catalyst for transformation. You hope for recognition and victory, but if you cling to the past or repeat old habits, then this card shows that the win will not come externally. It will come only after hitting a hard limit. So you're being asked to break old patterns now. Don't wait to be forced by circumstances. Trust yourself. Seek internal balance first. Be discerning emotionally. If you do, you may avoid the full blow of the Ten of Swords, or at least navigate it with more awareness. So, the summary of the spread story is past pain and overinvestment, then healing is underway, immediate challenges, emotional instability, self-image and external perception, longing for success and recognition, future if nothing changes, dramatic ending or closure. So you are on the path of recovery, but old emotional habits, overinvesting, and reliance on external validation may lead to a painful ending unless you consciously shift. The reading emphasizes self-trust, emotional discernment, and internal balance as the keys to avoiding unnecessary suffering. So that is your reading, Capricorn. I hope you received some guidance or insight from these messages that I channeled today. That's my hope for you, my goal in doing these readings. If you did, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'm sending you lots of love and strength. Take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.